Well, maybe I can make it work this time. Every one of my batteries were down. I'll tell you, I do not like the batteries now. I'd rather have the old NiCad batteries, which actually would hold a charge longer. Well, oh, reason I hadn't made a video in so long, I've had the most terrible luck. Animal control took 4 of my puppies. Then they said, I've got to keep them in my yard. So I started building a fence around the backyard. Well, that meant it took 2 weeks. I was going to have all my puppies vaccinated. It took 2 extra weeks. One of the dogs dug up Betsy Bug that I buried last year, and she had died with parvo. Well, they got in that hole and got exposed to parvo. The 2 girl puppies died, and I sure didn't want them. And but little Daisy, I went out in the rain. She was out there laying in the rain. I brought her in the house and tried to treat her, but she was too far gone. She died in an hour before the vet's office even opened. And of course, the other one was already dead. And I brought little Joe and Jack in the house, and Jack was sick, and I called the vet and took him to the vet. And I spent over $1,500 on him and Joe getting them treated. The vials of medicine, the 2 vials of medicine for Jack were $700. And I'm gonna have to go downstairs. They're barking at the cats or something. They go crazy every time I come upstairs. But so I'm down to just Jack and Joe and Ben and Bear and Ruff and Ridge. And of course I had Ridge spayed. So I was out about $1,800 just in that 2-week period. And so I started fencing the front yard so I can do my puppy camps and have time with the dogs out there in my gazebo and stuff. So I've got all my fence posts up. I just need to build let's see, two corners and 2 gate posts. Well, 4 gate post braces, and then I'll be ready to string the fence. I bought new fence wire, non-climb horse fence, and I'm putting in 2 16-foot gates and a double 10-foot gate, which is 20 feet. And I'm hoping within the next 3 days to have it finished. It has done nothing but rain. Today it's pouring down. But I'll put this little short explanation out. And I just had a terrible time. And I don't know why things are running so bad for me, but it seems like everything's against me. I went to get fence posts yesterday, and that Dodge died on me at Tractor Supply. Had to sit there for 2 hours before it would crank. And on the way home, this one piece of highway I have to get on, it died coming up that grade, and I hadn't built enough speed to clear that hump. And it stopped right on the curve in the highway. Dangerous place to stall out. And there was a solid line of dump trucks and traffic coming, and I was trying to coast backward and get off the highway, but good grief, they just roared right up behind you. And I'm losing my voice, and I get so tensed up, and it ruins what voice I've got. But I managed to drift back down the highway far enough to get off the road. Wasn't but a few minutes, it cranked right up, and man, I came tearing out of that ditch, throwing gravel and dirt, and I had the gates and cattle panels and fence posts on the trailer and some 5/4 by 6 treated wood, and I mean, I throttled up to where if it died, it was going to coast on over that curve. But I made it all the way home with the hood up. You can actually see better with the hood up. You got a gap. You can look through that wide and see everything in front of you. I guess people thought I was nuts. Going up the highway 45 miles an hour with the hood up. But I wasn't going to stop to shut the hood, because then the thing would die, but it was getting cool air and cooling that computer down. Well, I think I'll put this little short thing out. It's not all that short now, but old and crackadated, and I get my voice back a little bit every day, and then if I talk much, I can't. It won't last long. Well, hope for better days. Okay, here's my fence I put up. I put the fence up around the back. Of course, the dogs have dug holes, I mean, everywhere back there. And this is my upper fence. Up where I took Ladybug for her last walk. I've still got the pound dirt in. It was so dry when it came up, it was like powder. I've got to put a run or two of barbed wire up on top. And I couldn't get posts. I mean, all the places done run out of posts. I finally got some for bracing this yesterday. But there's my 16-foot gate, and I've got it overlapped there. Well, I didn't want it to be able to swing in. I wanted it to swing out toward the road. And of course I used the piece of the cattle panel I cut off from the gates over here to reinforce this, and then just use field fence like I did on the backyard. And this is my gates I bought. They wanted $230 for the ones with the fence wire already in it. Well, for $25 I can buy a 16-foot cattle panel, and I bought 2 of those and cut them off to fit, and then I overlapped it here in the middle. For good reason, that the dogs will not be able to squeeze out of there. And they're having a ball out here. And this is along the front. I've got to put 2 strands of barbed wire here. I put one here and one here. Otherwise, this bank right here, if the dogs got to run and leap, they could clear that fence. Because it's like a 3 or 3.5 foot fence the way it is with the ground up above it here. But it's the old horse fence along the side there, and I've got to tie some of these wires in. Doggone fence staples on the sunny side of a post will work their way out. And I've got to stitch that in right there. So I've got to get out here and finish mowing. I'll tell you, it's tough keeping up in the spring when you're having to concentrate all your time on doing something you really didn't want to do. Of course, I just had to piece this together, couldn't get my brace post for this. But all that is just to latch the gate to and hold this short piece of fence. I had an old cattle panel I put on this. I've still got to put more tie wires on it. And then I use my own red brand there. And I've got my tent still set up out here. I never did get the water out of the floor from that big rain. And it didn't leak the last time it rained. I mean, it poured. Yeah, I've got a little water in the floor there, but not bad. Be time to do a puppy camp. And I've got to redo everything around this, the gazebo. I've got to get a piece of indoor-outdoor carpet, but I want to put pea gravel in here and get that old cardboard out, get all this other cardboard out. I had that up there to keep the wind off of me. Oh, I'm telling you what, we had some more blows. I see y'all done turned that water bone on us. Oh, what a mess. Yeah, just when I was getting things cleaned up around here, I had to stop and put up dog fence. But I've got that done now, and I just cut this today. I mean, it was knee high. But my trimmer mower, big wheel trimmer mower, really works good on this. I got to finish trimming up everything, trim trees. And up here on the pontoon boat, let me cut the camera off. Got a little surprise here in the pontoon boat. I'll turn the camera around and show you. I got a night cat cot. I wanted the one tigress, but they quit making the one with the 4 main legs on it, which was crazy. I was going to get one. They kept selling out of it so fast that I was going to get one. But there is my night cat cot tent. It sets up nicely here on the boat. Of course, I can move it forward some more and give me a little more room. But I got another one right there out sunny. It's a lightweight cot. It's the X-leg, the old style cot. It's got 6 feet on it. And it's a cot tent. But the night cat sets up real nice here on the pontoon boat. And I got a new addition here. The one tigress, that big high back chair. Well, I just love one tigress chairs. Yeah, I done forgot when I uncovered all this stuff. I've got a 9.9 Mercury 2-stroke long shaft outboard from a sailboat. My brother gave me that when I bought the pontoon boat. But I am tuckered out. I mowed grass this morning. That's all I've done today other than pet the puppies, and they're enjoying. I had to pick Joe and Jack up and carry them out the door. They wouldn't go outside. They become couch tasers. They didn't want to leave their cats. But anyway, I hear them whining down there now. They can't get up here. But I'll put this little video out. I just wanted to show the progress I've made, and I tell you, I sure did hate losing Daisy and Dilly. That Daisy was the sweetest little thing, and she was actually a little smaller than Joe, and Joe is blunt, but he's feisty. And him and Jack are doing good. I just wish I'd found Daisy. Of course, Dilly was already dead, had died during the night, and Daisy didn't even live long enough to get her to the vet. So I brought her in that morning before the vet's office opened, and I started treating her with Pedialyte, but she was too far gone and died within an hour. But I sure hated that. She was the sweetest little thing. And I would recommend, if you buy one of these canopies, turn the fabric top upside down. Now it'll cause you to have to fold it over the top of this. But the old shelters, the first one they put out, the canvas ended right there. Well, you didn't have water bags filled up. And I've done had 2 collapse because the water collects in them. And these get stretched out. I've got them doubled right now. to shorten them up because they would get water bags. But my other canopy over the small bass boat collapsed during that last storm. But turn the things upside down and just let this hang down inside. But upside down, you'll have that gap right here and you won't get water bags and collapse. I didn't do that on all of them till this last time, and I didn't do it, and I've already had a shelter collapse. It hadn't been up a year. But it's a lot better to turn the thing upside down and let that flap right here hang on the inside, because they do this right here. Where that post should be is down here, so water bags wouldn't form, because it'd get more slope on it and run the water off. Stupid design. Built for failure. Well, old and crackadated. And if it can, it will. And yeah, it did. That last storm about 3-4 days ago tore up my shelter over my bass boat. I'll be able to put it back together. It's got a little bend on the legs in the middle of it. But I must have had 100 gallons of water puddling in that thing. And it pulled. What I've got to do is, where these joints are, is put screws in them to hold those together. What they should have done is put a screw kit to hold them together. Well, old and crackadated, and I'll put this little piece of video up. Some I shot up in the studio talking about the dogs. But I hadn't turned out a video in 3 weeks at least. And well, I'll get this done, and it may take all night to load it. I can't load in the daytime. I can't get logged on. But I have to do it between 9 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. And it takes 3 or 4 times. Sometimes it takes an hour just to get logged on to the site. I don't know what the problem is. Didn't have that problem under that free basic program, which was better editing than the fancy one I pay for. It's garbage. They put too much junk on it and it gets too complicated. And I don't have time for complicated. I've got too many things I have to do, and I have to do my editing quick and easy, so now I don't even edit. I just put up what's on there. Well, here goes nothing. There's Bear and Ben. And Jack. I don't know where Joe runs off to. He's under the pontoon boat, I think. And there's old Ruff. Ridge, I think, is around on the back porch waiting for me to go in the back door. But ain't he a cute thing? And old Bear and Ben, they're good boys. And of course, my super Ruff, he's glad this morning he came out to the gazebo with me. And he got his good petting. That's making him happy. I'll get Jack in the video next.